December 20th, 2016. A conference room in Moscow. 3 men sit at a table. 1 Russian, 1 Iranian, 1 Turkish. They sign a document. The international press notices, but barely. The world is paying attention to other headlines. But what these 3 men signed that afternoon has no historical precedent. And it begins the fulfillment of a prophecy written 600 years before they were born. This is not a story about 2016. It is a story that begins 600 years before that signing, in Babylonian exile, with a priest named Ezekiel, who wrote down the names of nations that would not be aligned for 2.5 millennia. He wrote them down anyway. And in 2016, the world started to catch up to him. Before we go further, an important note. This is not the Iran investigation. We covered Iran in a previous video on this channel. The prophecy of Persia, the Prince of Persia, the cosmic spiritual conflict. If you have not seen that one, watch it after this. This investigation is something different. This is the investigation of the entire coalition. Russia, Turkey, the northern nations, the African Rim, and the country whose absence from the coalition may be the most disturbing detail in the entire chapter. Ezekiel was a priest. He was deported to Babylon in 597 BC, 11 years before Jerusalem itself would fall to Nebuchadnezzar. He was trained in the temple rituals, the sacred architecture, the protocols of holiness. And then the temple was taken from him. He spent the rest of his life in exile by the rivers of Babylon. And what he received in place of the temple were visions. Dense, strange, terrifyingly specific. He is the prophet of exiles. He is also the prophet who saw a coalition that would not assemble for 600 years. In chapter 38 of his book, Ezekiel delivers a word addressed to a figure called Gog, the chief prince of a territory called Magog. And around Gog, a coalition assembles. The names are listed: Rosh, Meshech, Tubal, Persia, Cush, Put, Gomer, Beth, Togarmah. In the 6th century BC, these were real geographical territories, real peoples, real languages, real armies. Ezekiel was told to prophesy against them. He had no map of the future. He simply wrote down what he saw. Scholars have spent centuries mapping these names. Magog, first mentioned in Genesis as a son of Japheth is placed by ancient sources in the region north of the Caucasus Mountains. The Black Sea, the steppes, the southern edge of what is today Russia. Meshech and Tubal appear in Assyrian records as Mushki and Tabal. Peoples of the highland regions of what is today Central and Eastern Turkey. Gomer, also a son of Japheth, was associated with the Cimmerians, who ranged through the Black Sea region and into Eastern Europe. Beth Togarmah, linked to the Armenian highlands, southeastern Turkey. The Caucasus. If you draw these territories on a modern map, you get a single coherent region. A northern arc. Russia, Turkey, the Caucasus.
Three more nations complete the list. Persia is the simplest. Ezekiel uses the name the nation used of itself. Persia. The Persian Empire. Modern Iran. Kush is the biblical name for the region south of Egypt. Modern Sudan, Ethiopia. The Horn of Africa. Put is identified by ancient sources with Libya, the North African coast west of Egypt. Together, these three nations form the second arc, a southern arc. Iran, Libya, the Horn of Africa. If you draw both arcs on a single map, you get a ring around the Middle East. In 593 BC, this ring had no unified purpose. In 2026, that is no longer true. A note about Iran. Iran's role in this coalition is the most direct. Ezekiel did not use an obscure tribal name. He named Persia. Persia is Iran. We covered the full investigation of Iran's prophetic role in a previous video on this channel. Daniel's Prince of Persia, Cyrus the Great, and the cosmic conflict that gives Iran its significance. If you have not watched that one, the link is below. For this investigation, we are moving past Iran to the coalition partners that are far less discussed and far more revealing. Before we look at who is in this coalition, look at who is missing. America does not appear. Western Europe does not appear. Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Jordan. The Arab nations directly surrounding Israel do not appear. The nations that have guaranteed Israel's security for decades are not in Ezekiel's coalition. They're also not actively defending Israel. Ezekiel 38, verse 13 describes a group of nations. Scholars identify them as representing the Western maritime powers, responding to the coalition's advance with a diplomatic protest. Not military intervention, a protest. For a reader of Ezekiel in any previous century, that details seemed obscure. For a reader in 2026, it may be the most alarming line in the entire chapter. Ezekiel is specific about when this happens. The attack comes when Israel is living in security. Chapter 38, verse 11, the coalition's plan to go against a land of unwalled villages, against a quiet people who dwell securely without walls and bars and gates. For most of Israel's modern history, surrounded by hostile neighbors, fighting existential wars every decade, the description did not fit at all. Today, with the Abraham Accords normalizing relationships with several Arab states, with the Iron Dome providing unprecedented missile defense, with Israel more prosperous than at any moment in its history, the description fits better than it ever has. That is not me saying so. That is the text of the prophecy, meeting the headlines of 2026.
In December 2016, something happened that had no historical precedent. Russia, Iran, and Turkey sat down together. Formally, officially, continuously. They signed a framework called the Astana Process. Since then, they have met regularly, coordinating military operations, political positions, and regional planning across the Middle East. This is the first sustained, formal, institutional alignment between Russia, Iran, and Turkey since modern nation-states were created. Three of the nations Ezekiel named, informal, ongoing diplomatic coordination, pointed toward the Middle East. For 600 years, Bible scholars read Ezekiel 38 and wondered, how would these nations ever align? In 2016, they did. And it is verifiable. This is Reuters, The Wall Street Journal, Jane's Defense Weekly. It is not theory. It is documented. Astana was the beginning. Since 2016, the alignment has deepened. Russia and Iran have signed formal military cooperation agreements. Iran has supplied Russia with military drones documented as deployed in Ukraine. Russia has supplied Iran with advanced military technology. Turkey, a NATO member, purchased the Russian S-400 missile defense system. The first time a NATO nation has done so in the alliance's history. Iran was formally admitted to BRICS, the economic bloc led by Russia and China. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the ESCO, now includes both Iran and Turkey as full members. These are not prophecy websites reporting this. These are mainstream financial newspapers, defense industry journals, and the official communiques of international institutions. The alignment is not interpretation. It is documentation.
Turkey deserves particular attention because its transformation is the least reported and the most significant. For decades, Turkey was the model of a Muslim-majority country, integrated into Western institutions. A NATO member since 1952, a candidate for European Union membership, a bridge between East and West. That Turkey has been methodically dismantled. The current Turkish government has moved aggressively toward Russia and Iran, while undermining its NATO commitments from within. It has blocked NATO initiatives. It has purchased Russian military systems. It has hosted Hamas leaders in defiance of its Western allies. It has positioned itself as an independent regional power in the Middle East. If Gomer and Togarma, the names Ezekiel uses for the Anatolian highlands, represent the territory of modern Turkey, then Turkey's pivot away from the West is not a geopolitical footnote. It is a prophetic movement. And almost no one is talking about it in those terms. Now we come to Russia, and to the most debated word in Ezekiel 38. The word is Rosh. Ezekiel 38 verse 2 reads in Hebrew, Nesi Rosh, Meshesh Vitubu. Some translations render this as chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, with Rosh meaning chief or head. But other scholars, beginning in the 19th century, argued that Rosh should be read as a proper noun. A nation called Rosh, and they linked the name linguistically to Russia. This identification has been debated for 200 years. Some scholars accept it. Others reject it as linguistic overreach. We are not going to settle the debate. But here is what is not debated. Ezekiel says explicitly that Gog comes from the far north, the uttermost north of Israel. From Jerusalem, due north, you cross Turkey, cross the Black Sea, and arrive in Russia. Whatever Rosh means as a word, the directional marker points where it points.
Everything we have described so far is the setup. Here is what Ezekiel says happens next. The coalition moves against Israel, and it does not succeed. Ezekiel 38 and 39 describe what happens. On the mountains of Israel, earthquake, fire, brimstone, plague, confusion among the armies, the forces destroying each other. We are not going to speculate about the mechanism. What we will note is what comes after. Ezekiel 39, verse 7. I will make my holy name known among my people Israel, and I will not let my holy name be profaned anymore. And the nations shall know that I am the Lord, the Holy One in Israel. The chapter is not organized around military strategy. It is organized around recognition. Who saw it? Who refused to see it? What it would take for the nations to understand what they were looking at. Ezekiel's prophecy is not ultimately about a war. It is about a revelation. The nations will know. Israel will know. What the event produces, beyond the military outcome, is recognition. This is why the chapter is not organized around military strategy. It is organized around the question of knowledge. Who knew? Who refused to know? What will it take for the nations to understand what they are looking at? In a 600-year-old text, a priest in Babylonian exile wrote down the names of the nations and the purpose of the conflict. We are not saying the moment is now. We are saying the conditions described have never been closer. To the world we live in today.
Before we close, intellectual honesty requires something. There are serious scholars who disagree about when this event happens. The pre-tribulation view places the Gog and Magog war before or at the start of a 7-year period. The Bible calls the tribulation. The mid-tribulation view sees it as a midpoint event. And some scholars, taking the book of Revelation as their primary framework, identify the final Gog and Magog battle with Revelation chapter 20 at the end of the 1,000-year period. We are not going to adjudicate between these views. We will note that all three agree on something. This event is future, not past. And all three agree that the nations listed are the ones involved. The debate is not about who. The debate is about when. Now stand back and look at what we have. A 6th century priest exiled in Babylon lists the nations that will form the final coalition against Israel. He names Persia. He names the northern territories. He names the African Rim. He notes the absence of the Western powers. He describes the conditions under which the coalition forms. He describes the catastrophic reversal. He explains the purpose. For 600 years, the list sat in a text. The nations existed, but not in alignment. Then, beginning on December 20, 2016, Russia, Iran, and Turkey entered formal diplomatic coordination for the first time in recorded history. Then Greeks and the ESCO expanded to include Iran. Then Turkey continued its pivot away from NATO. Then 2026 arrived. And the coalition Ezekiel described in 59-3 BC. The nations he named before they were aligned, before they had reason to align, before anyone alive could have imagined that alignment. is closer to its described form than at any point in recorded history. What we are watching in 2026 looks less like a prophecy waiting to happen and more like a rehearsal of something already in motion.
Ezekiel was a priest. He understood that the temple was not just a building. He understood it as the place where heaven and earth touched. When the temple was destroyed, he did not conclude that God had left. He concluded that God had moved, that the presence was not contained in the building, but in the people. That is what the visions were about. A priest in exile, surrounded by the most powerful empire on earth, looking through it to something beyond. 2,600 years ago, a priest in exile looked at an empire and saw through it to something beyond. Today, we look at headlines and struggle to see anything at all. Maybe the question is not whether the prophecy is accurate. Maybe the question is whether we are paying attention. The names are in the book. The nations are in the news. Something is happening. The lights are coming up on the stage. The actors are in their places. The only question is whether we are watching closely enough to recognize what is about to begin.